approve a stimulus plan for all, specifically a COVID-19 stimulus package that addresses millions of residents who have immediate needs that have been ignored by this administration. The cost of inaction by Congress will be disastrous for our families and communities. An estimated 12 million people will lose benefits the day after Christmas unless Congress acts now. With the CDC's eviction ban slated to expire at the end of the year, as many as 14 million people could be displaced from their homes. 26 million people will go hungry this holiday season. We urge Congress to extend pandemic unemployment assistance and pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, and to restore the $600 federal pandemic unemployment compensation. We are calling on leaders to put people first and to make the unemployment system and the economy more equitable and inclusive. As structural racism means Black workers are more likely to be unemployed, yet less likely to receive unemployment insurance than white workers. We, the people, have a story to tell. Would you like to go on a journey with us to a place called Whoville in a district not too far away? Yeah! Great. We want you to join us. Let's begin.
Every who down in Whoville had had a rough year. And as it wound down, much too many knew fear. Debt piling, getting hungry, not safe to go out. The Who's were resilient, but beginning to doubt.
I need health care, one said as they made their petition, but insurance denied me. I have pre-existing conditions. My student loans have me drowning in debt. I have lost my job and I can't pay my rent. I have no child care. My kid's school is remote. Millions of parents are in the same boat.
No paychecks, debt mounting, they laughed holiday cheer. And the Mitch watched it all with a sickening sneer. Who's the Mitch? Well, good question. A very cruel man who claims that he cannot help who's, but he can.
Lower taxes, cried the Mitch. No handouts, he whined. If these people pulled on their boots, they'd be fine. But the people were trying. Their best, they all swore. So they went to the Mitch and knocked on his door.
And the Mitch, he just laughed. He had donors to thank. Besides, all the money's for jet fuel and tanks. The people were brave, though. They knew they were right. So they gathered their friends and they took up the fight.
Miss Cindy Lou Who said,
I'll go to the Mitch. Do you think he will listen, although I'm not rich? Cindy was scared, but she went anyway. Our little Who girl said, this mess ends today. She walked down the street and knocked on his door, said, I'm Cindy Lou Who, and I speak for the poor. Sir, I know that you're busy, and perhaps you don't know this, but my whole block has been served an eviction notice.
The Mitch curled his mouth in a sickening smile. He patted her head and said, oh, my sweet child. You see, the economy is really quite fragile. While we'd love to help, we cannot be so agile. If we move things too quickly, you'll stop wanting to work. We don't need to come off as such heartless jerks.
Sir, we've been waiting for months while food lines grow long. Mr. Mitch, just one question. Whose side are you on?
I work for the big donors. I don't see what you're missing.
Guess I briefly forgot who's behind that you're kissing. And on that note, thought sweet Cindy Lou Who, I know precisely what we must do. We'll go to the streets in the midst of recession. We'll show up in spite of his voter suppression. Woo! So some marched and some voted and some hopped on the phone. Everyone had a role in the streets or at home. The people are powerful and each person counts. The Mitch claims he can't help us. Why, we'll just shut it down.
Against student debt and eviction, and for COVID relief, we'll call, we'll email, we'll take to the streets. The Mitch watched the people, and soon he grew wary. When the people get organized,
They are kind of scary.
So what's the moral? What's the meat of our holiday tale? That the people united will boldly prevail, and that, Mitch, we demand each one and us all pass relief for the holidays if your heart's not too small.
while you're at it, our healthcare must be affordable, and we must protect workers when conditions are horrible. Get us childcare and safe housing. Center Black lives too. Then maybe, just maybe, there'll be hope for you.
But no matter who or what the Mitch is, our futures and dreams are much brighter than his. When we come together, we know we won't lose. The Mitch picked his side, the wrong one to choose.
We'll be back in the new year, and we'll bring new friends too. After we help them turn old Georgia blue. We're kind, we are stronger, we work hard as we can. The Mitch picked his side.
Do you know where you stand? Get the gift. Get the sign.
Get the gifts. Get the gifts.
Thank you for coming. If you're here, you're a who. And you're probably wondering what just one who can do. To 747-464, text relief now. And you can do more. Work with your neighbors for what matters to you. You'd be surprised what just a few who's can do.
All right. So now